tremendous looking trophy.
Hello, welcome to Platinum Station, number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. My name's Don Black. Joining me on the show today, as always, Ashley Hopley.
Hey Don, excited to be here.
What's that face?
What were you doing?
I don't know. Just coming out wild. You know, it's that time of year. We're entering what they call the silly season. Have you heard this before?
I have heard of this, but I don't think the silly season reverts to.
It does when you work at retail. It just affects your whole life. Black Friday's on at the moment, Ash. I tell you, hot damn.
I mean, it's not even Friday.
Yeah, guess what? The sales started 2 weeks ago. It's fucking ridiculous. They're like, they do them in waves, you know? They're like the Black Friday, it's one day, but it's all of November. we dole them out a little bit at a time. Like, driving me up the wall. All right, this week on the show, not much to talk about, to be completely honest. Got a couple news stories to go over and all these bits and bobs, but we are what are we? Week and a half, 2 weeks? When's the Game Awards? That's not next week, week after. We're 2 weeks away from the Game Awards, so I feel like obviously there's not going to be any major news stories. Well, I'd be surprised if there's any major.
It's a lot of rumors and speculation. Lots
of rumors and speculation for the next 2 weeks. So, and we obviously just had a major release, and it's coming into December, and then after the Game Awards, there's going to be. It's just. Fuck all. It's just people giving out their Game of Year awards and that sort of stuff, which is fine. Give me God of War update. Where are you up to? Ragnarok. Rock.
Without
spoilers.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out how to do it without spoilers. We just retrieved something from the roots of the World Tree after fighting a giant lizard thing.
Okay.
That was pretty spoiler free, I think.
Yeah, I was like, one tree, roots is yep, fair. Cool. Still liking it, obviously, I assume.
Yeah, still enjoying it.
Yeah. It's been interesting things because I was messaging Nick the other day. Like he finished it, but
He finished it.
He switched it to easy mode or whatever just to smash through it. But yeah, he really doesn't like the combat, which is interesting. And I was saying to him, like, it's funny because the things he's sort of complaining about, the combat sort of, and all these sorts of things. I was saying it's funny because I got this whole thing where I complained about the bloody trolls. He's like, yeah, I hated the trolls. He hated the trolls in the first game too. And I was like, well, they got rid of them. Apparently that's all I needed, but it's not enough for you. But yeah, he liked the story enough. And he was like, it was funny because he was bringing up some like American Gods things and like just talking about like the way they use the, I guess like,
the gods,
you know, like different take on, Norse mythology and stuff like that, which is of course what American Gods does with some of the characters, overlapping characters, like obviously Odin's and both and sorts of things like that. Cool. Do you know if Kieran's further than you or like?
I have no idea.
I assumed you would have asked him when you recorded OK Catch something, but.
Right. That's not a PlayStation podcast.
You could have asked him before the show or after the show. I don't know.
We had so much to talk about on that show, so there wasn't time.
I got to be honest, I'm going to tell you right now on this show. If you want to listen to, so Ash and Kieran did Arcade Couch that came out Monday. This is out on Wednesday, of course. I skipped the entirety of that last 20 minutes.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I'll have to come back because the thing is, I've played like 30 minutes of this new Pokemon game, obviously, because I took like half of last week off.
Spoilers. That's
I don't want to know what the Pokemon. I'm not like super fussed.
That was my fault. I was going into it. I was like, I should probably do a spoiler warning at the start of this.
Yeah.
And then I got into flow of things and I completely forgot.
Like you start the segment and I'm like, nah, and I just skip, and then the show ended. So I was like, all right, well. Let's do it up to there. But yeah, I was like, it's not like I'm super like fussed about, like it's not going to ruin my world if I see a spoiler. Like I've seen one Pokemon, the 1,000th one, like that's been all over Twitter, like people posting about what the 1,000 Pokemon is. I know we're in a PlayStation podcast, so I'll come back in a minute. But
the bloody gold tree.
Yeah, I've seen everyone posting that. But like, so it's not going to upset me if I see it, but for this, if I could choose to, like, especially when it comes to the starters and stuff, I was like, I still want to like discover that stuff. I feel like discovering the starters is like the important part to me because that's a core Pokemon. Like
I feel like it's the opposite. I want to know exactly what it evolves into so I can make the right decision.
No, it's part of I feel like it's part of the experience. Like especially being as a kid, they'd evolve, and you'd like. I feel like that's part of my experience. Anyway, so I skipped So fuck you and fuck Kieran. I skipped the last 20 minutes of your Arcade Couch episode.
Kieran will appreciate that.
I'll come back, but. I need to at least play another few hours, get my starter evolved or some shit. I don't know how I ended up here. Anyway, Spoilercast, I think, because Kieran on that substage said, like, oh, hopefully we'll do a Spoilercast. We will do a Spoilercast for God of War. Obviously, that's coming up. But I will say now, if you go looking for it, I will mention it on here, but all of our Spoilercasts do get published on Arcade Couch feed. So if you listen to this, but for some reason you don't listen to Arcade Couch, it's still probably a week or two away, probably a couple weeks away. With I don't know how far you and Kieran are, but it will be on the Arcade Couch feed. I'll mention it on the show, but we did at some stage make the decision to just put them all on the one feed. I could I could publish it twice, which I guess is an option, but maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But anyway, it'll be on Arcade Couch if you're looking for it. First news story of the week comes from WellPlayed. God of War Santa...
Nice guys over there.
God of War Santa Monica Studios is working on a lot of different things, according to Cory Barlog. Speaking to the Los Angeles Times, Barlog stated that Santa Monica is, quote, spread out on a lot of different things, end quote, though he wouldn't be elaborating on what exactly this meant when pressed by the interviewer. As the article points out, Santa Monica does have a smaller arm that publishes indie titles, so this comment should be taken with that in mind. But it does leave the door open for some exciting prospects now that team has wrapped up development on Ragnarok. With Eric Williams acting as director of Ragnarok, Barlog previously revealed that he's moved on to work on other projects. At least one of the things Barlog mentions is likely his projects. We'll need to wait and see what else Santa Monica has cooking. A safe bet would be something set in the God of War franchise, seeing as though the IP is red hot at the moment, but it'll likely be for a while until we get any official announcement. You haven't finished the game, so it's hard for you to like have an opinion on where the franchise would go next. But I feel like even without finishing it, like it's a pretty safe bet that a franchise that is this red hot again as God of War is over these last two games, it's pretty safe to assume that there will be another God of War game, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. Unless they do something crazy like destroy the world, like with Ragnarok, you know?
It's in the title. They're like, the game's called God of War Ragnarok. It's literally just about the end of the world.
It's literally the end of the world, so I don't know whether there can be a continuation. But yeah, I fully expect that they specifically... Cory Barlog said, oh, we're only doing 2 chapters in this saga so we can move on to the next thing. So I'm sure they've got plans for future God of Wars. Of course, I think initially they wanted it to be set in Egypt. And they're like, oh no.
And they covered it. Right, yeah, and they covered it in that documentary. Which, side note, someone did an interview or somewhere. They said there is not going to be one of those documentaries for Ragnarok. But I know, right? But the documentary that came out,
I actually rewatched that recently. It's still very good.
It was good. If you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube. It's free. But yeah, they covered it in that, and they showed what they had some proof of concept gameplay and artwork. Like they got pretty they deep down the rabbit hole of pre-production on that. Like it wasn't just an idea in a room and then was shut down the next day sort of thing. We will talk about the future God of War, of course, in the Spoilercast we'll just talk about. But yeah, I can safely say with the ending of this game, super exciting for the direction that the franchise can head in. Because there are multiple. It's not one direction. I feel like it's just there. It's very interesting with the way things are set up. So
what you're saying is going to be a million spin-offs.
Possibly. They could do a spin-off, yeah. They could do a spin-off.
Nothing but wolves.
Maybe. Makes me wonder if they'd ever do I don't know, like they could do like a Lost Legacy type thing, to be honest. Like if they wanted to do like a smaller sort of in-between project, but I mean, it's no different than when the Cory Barlog started talking about like what they had the ideas for DLC for the first game or whatever, and they were spending too much time on it, and it was just becoming this game anyway. So they stopped or whatever. So, but yeah, we will definitely talk about the future of God of War. There is definitely going to be a future. That'll be interesting to talk about. Not so good news, but definitely want to mention it because I've seen a few places cover it this past week. God of War Ragnarok dev accused of not crediting music production's intern, writes Push Square. A music production intern who worked on God of War Ragnarok says she's feeling incredibly disappointed and discouraged after she wasn't credited for her work in the PS5 and PS4 exclusive game. Side note, I keep forgetting it's on PS4 as well. Writing on Twitter, composer Jessica Mayer revealed that she contributed to the editing, arrangement, and implementation of the score during the Freya chase and 4 boss fight sequences at the beginning of the game. However, despite sharing specific examples of her efforts and thoroughly explaining her approach to them, She admitted that her name's not included in the credits and, quote, apparently it can't be added in a patch update, end quote. She continued, quote, I was told that to be credited, my contribution to the game must hit some minimum criteria, and I'm still not sure what the criteria should be. This was incredibly disappointing and discouraging for me to learn, and I hate for anyone else to go through it. Game devs, please credit everyone who participates in the development of a game. It only makes sense, end quote. To be fair, writes Push Square, Santa Monica's studio's senior audio technical designer, Sean Lavalle, was quick to respond, saying, quote, I'm very sorry to hear about this, Jessica. I fully agree with everyone who contributed to a project should be credited. It may indeed be a little late, but I'll definitely ask about this, end quote. Yeah, so I know. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's rough. You wish everybody was credited. I don't know why everyone isn't credited, considering credits are so long, and I don't think it really... I don't, sit in the credits and go, damn, these are too long. There's too many names. They should really, have some sort of criteria as to whether people should be held involved. I guess it's it is possibly a scale thing. It's this person only did a small section, this person did a massive section, but they're under the same title, so they give an equal amount of credit in the credits. I don't know whether it's that sort of thing. Of course, all this could be resolved as some kind of union or industry-wide agreement on how credit should be handled. Of course, we've had multiple stories of people who have left game studios before the game's released who have done incredible amounts of work.
I think it was Arcade Couch we talked about it a couple years ago, whatever. Rockstar said that you had to be there when the game was finished to get your...
To be in the credits.
To be in the credits, even if you worked up until a week before.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it could be an element of, it being a bit of an oversight because of them being an intern, not an actual full employee, whether that's could be a factor in why they weren't included. But I also don't understand why they couldn't patch it.
I feel like they definitely could patch it. I feel like the problem is every single disc that's in the world, she's never going to be credited.
That's true.
That's the problem. I feel like it's once the discs are out there, you're technically anyone who doesn't have the patch version of the game, she's not going to appear as a credit. And there's no way to fix that. That is just... So yeah, they could they could fix they could fix it in the patch version, sure. That's the problem.
You just have to re-render the credits,
Yeah.
And I guess add an extra name. It depends. Well, there would be a fair bit of work potentially, because obviously they have a set score to the credits. I assume I haven't hit credits yet, so I don't know. Which has a certain amount of timing, so either you have to speed up to add one extra name or extend the music a little bit.
No, it's fine. It's literally that.
It'd be an extra maybe. How much extra? Maybe 2-3 seconds, I guess. Maybe.
No, because by the time the credits gets it, any credits, when it gets that last bit and you see last logo name, whatever it is, and it's scrolling up the bottom, the music's still playing as though you've still got all that black space at the bottom as the credits scroll up. One name isn't gonna. One name makes no difference.
There's no credit makers.
Yeah. But yeah, 100% she should be credited. This isn't I came in and I pressed spacebar for 6 times and I left.
I came in and just bought, was giving everybody coffee. And
yeah. I wasn't, she should be credited appropriately, which would be as Jessica Mao, music intern or, whatever, music producer. You just credit them as a music producer intern. I don't feel like that's discriminatory towards position. It's just appropriately crediting. You don't need to say what she says.
Listen,
she was
if
there.
you can spend all this time giving credits to all the babies who got born during the process,
and all the fucking dogs and all this stuff shit. Fucking hell, just credit the people. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you no credit story. Obviously, I played New Tales from the Borderlands recently.
Hated it.
Check out the review. It's 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
4.5 out of 5. In their credits, they did all the credits, and then they had messages from the developers, anybody on the team who wanted to leave a message. So then the credits were an extra 5-10 minutes. But you can't put one extra person's name in the credits.
Yeah, it's dumb. It does make me wonder. Sometimes is this I would understand. Here's the thing. If they came out and said, shit, our bad, we we 100% forgot to include you. Not that we didn't, we chose not to. We just 100% forgot, which sounds terrible, but
because you don't get a paycheck, we were like, oh, it's an oversight.
Yeah. It was 100% oversight, and we're so sorry. We can patch it in and fix it. I feel like that's still like, well, that sucks, and sort of like, there's no, like, but it's a bit different to, we chose not to include you because we don't think the work you did matters. you know what I mean? Like, it's
hit the criteria level.
Didn't hit the criteria, yeah. It was some shit like that. Because I don't know what the criteria is. Like, she says she worked on the game from June to August. So she worked on the game for 3 months, which is why she worked on that very specific, like, sort of, the opening 30, 45 minutes of the game or whatever. Like, just that section.
I mean, yeah. When credits can be as long as they want, because it's not like game credits can be as long as they want, unlike film or television, where they need to be a certain amount because you're using up that theater. Well, I guess maybe on streaming services doesn't matter as much. But you've got unlimited space to have these credits running. Why wouldn't you just include anybody and everybody?
But film and TV credit anyone who worked on it. Like,
well, that's because they're mandatory.
Yeah, there's unions and stuff. Yeah. So if you worked as a person in the second unit of a film where you only worked on it for a week during a sequence where you helped fucking shoot some shit where Captain America runs down the street for a week, you're still going to get credited.
Where somebody who looks like Captain America.
Yeah, you're still credited.
Okay.
Rightfully, you worked on the film.
Yeah.
That's the point. So, yeah, I don't really feel like it's up for debate. And I did see some fuckboys, like, on the different news story, not the Push Square one. Someone else, like, tweeted it. People were like, oh, yeah, but she only worked on it for 3 months. I'm like, only 3 months? In what world? Like, I understand game development's long, but 3 months is still 3 months. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, 3 months is 3 months. Ridiculous. I tell you what, if I worked on a game for 3 months, I didn't credit. I'd get annoyed. So, completely understandable. Anyway, it's good. But there's a few other people, other than the one that Push Square mentions. Like, I look through the replies to her tweet. There's a few other people in there saying, like, oh, I'll look into this when I get back into the office, and you're not happy about this. So obviously, it's like, it's not like, oh, fuck everyone at Santa Monica. It's not that sort of story. Continuing down the Push Square train of news stories, of which the rest are for the rest of the show, because I was off last week and I wasn't saving news stories from different outlets as I saw them pop up, and I just went to Push Square this morning. I was like, what's happening? The Spider-Man Miles Morales has better PC launched than Sackboy and Uncharted. Right, it's Push Square. It's currently, Spider-Man Miles Morales is currently the 10th best-selling game on Steam after a peak of more than 13,500 PC users played the game at any one time during its opening weekend. This marks a huge improvement over Sony's previous PC releases, Sackboy Big Adventure, which could only pull in 610 players during its release. 3 weeks later, the game still has pulled in more users than that at any one time. The latest stats make Miles Morales the third most popular PC release from Sony in 2022, behind God of War and Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. It just managed to beat Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection by a few thousand users. There will be a review up by the time you're listening to this on Wednesday, because Jacob sent it to me the other day, and I was like, I'm on holidays from Explosion Network and my day job. I'll fix it when I get back. But yeah, he's giving it a 10. So he's just big Spider-Man fan. Big Spider-Man fan. You gonna disagree with that one? Miles Morales, 10?
No, I think that's accurate.
You want to find it? Okay.
10. The only thing is the length, of course. It'd be great if it was longer, but for what it is, more Spider-Man.
I think Miles Morales is better than.
Yeah,
I think I've said that.
You hate Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great time. It's actually a great time to pick up Spider-Man Miles Morales because it's a Christmas video game. So
it's true. It's a very good point. It is a Christmas video game. That's completely different. Like, if you want to hear what we think are Christmas movies, you should be listening to our new podcast. That's right, new podcast, which I wouldn't have mentioned on this because it's a video game show. But yeah, check out Very Explosion Network Christmas on your podcast feeds, where myself and Ash
to find another Christmas video game. Is there a Christmas video game we can play this year?
I don't know. Like,
let's just not add anything.
Yeah, okay, let's just. I've got too much to do as it is. Yeah, I think I can watch the movies, but playing a whole game, calm down. Talking about Spider-Man though, so that was alright. Marvel Spider-Man 2 will have a different Harry Osborn on PS5. Looks like Marvel Spider-Man 2's recast role of Harry Osborn, with star Scott Porter revealing that he will not return for the sequel in a now-deleted tweet. Porter, who also plays Heimdall in Perfection in God of War Ragnarok, alluded to the fact that developer Insomniac Games has decided to go photoreal with its casting in the hotly anticipated PS5 successor, and quote, the difference between me and Harry's age was too much to overcome, I believe, end quote. It's a particularly interesting comment, as during the transition from Marvel Spider-Man to Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, Insomniac Games controversially changed the face of Peter Parker to better match voice actor Yuri Lowenthal's performance character. Nevertheless, those of you who have never played Marvel Spider-Man and spin-off Miles Morales will know that Harry is poised to have a huge role in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Porter admitted that while he's bummed that he'll not be returning, it's going to be an incredible game. He's since removed the tweets. What do you think of this news? Silly? Not silly?
No. You have to put trust in Insomniac. I mean, I imagine while obviously Harry's story is going to be pivotal to this game, and it wasn't a thought as much in the first game when they originally cast Scott Porter to do minimal work as Harry, essentially voicemails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is anything. Like he got contracted and paid for a role. They've decided to go with a different actor as the character moves to a bigger role. Disappointing, sure. I don't like, but he's under no, and Insomniac's under no reason to keep him as the role, and there's no reason. Yeah, so it's fine.
I mean, the interesting thing will be, do they do the same thing as they did with Spider-Man and Spider-Man Remastered, go back and get the other guy to record all these voicemails and replace it?
No, the Friday Remastered.
Probably. I mean, it's a lot of work.
That's too much. That's too much.
But if you want to make things seamless,
look out for Marvel Spider-Man Remastered Mail Edition coming soon, where Harry Osborn's now voiced by the voice actor.
No, they just patch it.
Okay,
jeez. Not that Scott Porter. Also, don't feel bad for Scott Porter. He's doing pretty well for himself. He just got, obviously, in the article it says he's in God of War Ragnarok. He just became the Winter Soldier in Marvel's Avengers, so I think he's doing okay.
Yeah. Huge loss. Big
in a massive video game, Marvel's Avengers, his new character.
Yeah, I think he's going to do fine. And by the way, he's one of the main characters in God of War Ragnarok 2. It's not like, what? Spoilers. But yeah. Crazy.
That is crazy. I haven't heard him yet.
Haven't you heard him?
I don't think so.
Yeah. You will soon then.
Maybe I haven't realized.
PSVR for the players.
Let's talk about some virtual reality news as we wrap up the show today. So they write, if you only experience virtual reality as the original PSVR headset, then Sony's successor is going to be a huge step forward. While much of the discussion has centered on visuals and performance improvements, the new PSVR Sense controller is going to make a massive difference from a tactile perspective. Honestly, those PS Move controllers simply don't make the cut anymore. Fuck no, they do. They've got a video here of, where is this from actually? Let's see. What does it say? One of the features Sony claims in its new handset is finger tracking. You can see it in action courtesy of a video embedded above. As the player gestures with his hands in real life, you can see his movements replicated in game. I don't know who is this? Let me click on. I didn't actually click on this Twitter user before. At Oshayan, PlayStation fan? I don't know. Maybe they're at like a con or something. It looks like. I don't actually know. Anyway, video is very cool. It looks like they're playing Horizon. Well, that's what it looks like to me anyway. They're on a raft. And they got the controllers out. They're moving all the fingers around. Looks like full tactile sort of movement or sense of the fingers and what you're moving around. So you can give people the finger and all that sort of stuff. But what do you think? Excite you, Ash? You want to pick one up? You want to pre-order now? What are you doing?
No. But, I'm excited that clearly this is going to be much better than the first one,
Bar's pretty low.
Rip to the Move controllers. All right.
It only took 20 years.
That is crazy.
I pulled so I was going through some like boxes over there, and I like in my wardrobe, movements and stuff around. I did see like my PSVR sitting there. I'm like, what do I do with this? Does EB Games take it? Do I sell it? Like, can I get $20 for it? What's it go? You know? Are you keeping yours? You gonna try and get rid of yours? What are you doing?
No, it's probably just going to stay in a box somewhere.
You can put it in a museum, donate it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, when we eventually have the Explosion Network Platinum Explosion wing.
In a museum, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make it like Bros. We'll hire. Get a bunch of people in for different consoles and argue about stuff. So we should do that, yeah. But yeah, that's it. Log up for this week's episode. Yep. What do you got?
We'll say you can still pre-order the PSVR 2.
Yeah, it's sold out in some places in America. So what the fuck's going on there? That's the
all the tech bros with too much money.
Yeah, maybe. In Australia, I did check this morning. In Australia, you can still find it in places. That's fine. But I saw some people in America saying that they couldn't get it like pretty quickly after the pre-orders started. And they had to go to, Sony Direct and they couldn't get it at EB or the GameStop, whatever.
So maybe we should buy it and then we can sell it to the Americans.
Yeah, and make them pay like hundreds of dollars.
Do you reckon there's scalpers for the PSVR 2 over there? And then here they're like, no, it's too much of a risk.
Too much effort, yeah. It's on the high, it's on the easy turnaround. Maybe. I mean, maybe that's the thing, but it's funny if it is. Yeah, well, I did think it was interesting. I mean, obviously the population's bigger, but yeah. In America, it's a little bit harder to get. I think you still get it in some places, but some places not. Anyway, let us know if you've got a PSVR pre-order and whatever else. What your favorite Christmas video game is. In the tweets or the Discords, you can head us on Twitter, explosionnetwork.com/Twitter. You can join our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. You can find us on Ko-fi, explosionnetwork.com/support. Donate a little as $1 to help out the show and the website. And until next week, remember, every trophy counts. What's going on?